Okay. Hasn't been time, sudden change. So, for those that are investing, I cannot tell you to do this or purchase them, but for those that are holding on, nothing, and then suddenly something. Okay. Don't hold too tight onto gold. I'm not an economist. Trust me. But I hear the word of the Lord sometimes. Don't rely too much upon it. God is opening other doors as well. Don't forget to look at the tree. Don't forget to look at the oak tree. It is also a symbol that God spoke about. So what are you talking about? Why would God tell you this? Because I'm a prophet. That's why. And so, but you know what? Listen to this. Before I get into what I want to speak about. This is what I love. Hosea chapter 12 verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets and have multiplied. Stop right there. Listen to that. I speak by the prophets and as a result of it, multiplication begins. So when God speaks through a prophet, multiplication begins. When God speaks through a prophet, his secret things are revealed so that it's for your future success and prosperity. Don't forget that, because what's happening here is you are in the future. You are walking into the future. I welcome you to the future. When you come to the den, when you come from the matrix, you are literally tasting of the grapes of the future. Now, every now and then, we may just remind you that there are giants in that promised land. However, they have been taken care of by God. The giants are taken care of. The grapes are for you to enjoy. Don't tell me there's no reward in serving God and taking a chance and stepping out of the boat and using your faith. God loves. Above all, listen to this. Faith pleases God. When you step out and do something that you know requires faith, God loves it. And he's proud of you when you do it. So, when God speaks through a prophetic voice, he says, I have spoken by the prophets and have multiplied. Don't even put visions on, because that's where it starts, with sight. But he multiplies. He multiplies. Now he also says, and I've given symbols through the witness of the prophet. So, now, many times I'll see things and I'll speak it out. We don't know the full extent of it. The big E, it's being revealed at this very moment. God spoke to me about that, showing me symbols, showing me letters. We're going to share some things with you on Saturday on Code Breakers. Fascinating stuff. What God is doing on the earth and how the enemy is trying to overtake the righteous. And guess what's happening to the righteous? They're multiplying. They're multiplying in faith. Multiplication is taking place as a result of his attack. Now, I used to say a thing in Detroit. I've forgotten what it was. When you come against me, it pushes me close to the promise of God. Every time you attack me, every time you hurt me, you're pushing me a little bit closer to the promise of God. That's what we used to prophesy. We used to prophesy together as warriors. Every time you attack me, speak to the enemy. Every time you attack me, every time you hurt me, or my children, you're pushing me a little bit closer to the promise of God. Think about it. Every time you attack me, every time you hurt me, you're pushing me a little closer to the promise of God. Now you say it with me. You say, well, I don't want to speak to the devil. Speak to the principalities that are out there right now, shaking in their boots, because you are getting prophetic revelation, which means you are multiplying. You've got to believe this. Multiplication is taking place in a time of, that's right, of minusing, taking away, division. What happens to the children of God when the evil in this world causes us to go, not us, but causes them to go backwards, to lose, division takes place. Listen, all of that, we multiply. You've got to understand that. It's very important that you understand that. So I get these different symbols and things that God starts speaking out. People get impatient. We want to know more. Let it unfold. Let it unfold. I just saw the Dinar. People have written and asked me. Some of my dearest friends have written and asked me about it, and I've heard nothing at all. When I was sitting here, God said Dinar. I couldn't even relate it to Iraq. And how nothing, and then suddenly everything changes. Listen to these little truths that come out, oracular intimations that God gives to you, and act upon it by researching. And share, by the way, share it with us, everybody.